Welcome to part 5 of the Metroid Prime 2 100% walkthrough, 100% scans. We're entering the Great Temple and have these light flyers. Don't go too fast through here because you'll notice that there are some morph ball tunnels in this area here. So go ahead, go through the morph ball tunnel, and near the top we can hear it. Yep, there is a missile expansion. So we're up to 40 missiles, I believe. Excuse me. I believe it's this way. So we'll enter the main energy controller here. Visit UMAS. Again, one of the things I want to mention about this elevator is that most elevators in the real world, again, they're boxes. You enter the box takes you up or down. Here it's just a platform that, you can hold the sides if you wanted to. Not the safest design, but I suppose it's just easier to program that way and give the illusion that, yeah, you're moving up or down. Meeting Umos, I thank you for restoring energy to the Temple of Agon. Your valor honors the Luminoth, those who have passed, and those who remain here under my protection as they sleep in deep stasis. Be on guard, for the Ing do not suffer defeat lightly. They will surely seek revenge for your actions. With the energy lost from the desert region, they will increase their efforts in other lands. I have detected unusual amounts of Ing activity in the Torvis sector. The enemy is on the move. The swamplands of Torvis are treacherous and can hinder you considerably. Bear this in mind as you move through the bog. Seek the Temple of Torvis. More knowledge awaits you there. May the light of Aether serve you well. May it indeed. Alright. So we've talked to UMAS. Unfortunately, we don't really learn a whole heck of a lot. But unfortunately, it's what we have to consult UMAS before we are given permission to visit the other areas. So, Torvis again is over here with this amber door. Pathway to Torvis. Beyond the pathway to Torvis sector lies. And here we have another pillar that we have to shoot a light beam at. And we have a new creature. Mechanism, Harmony class drone, rogue maintenance unit. Roving mechanoid with energy-based attacks, avoid direct contact. The Luminoth designed the Harmony units to be free-roaming, independent cleaning units. They use focused energy beams and kinetic pulses to perform their duties. Unfortunately, they now consider all living things as filth that must be cleansed from the world. How convenient. But these are really just pulse bamboos, adapted for this game. In fact, there are a number of assets from Metroid Prime that are reused and altered, or with a backstory altered. Power relays connected, elevator unit online. So it only makes sense. We've seen puffers that are now renamed Preeds, Harmony class drones. There will be more. So scan this. Let this gateway forever protect our sacred temple. May you find enlightenment and peace. Boy, I really hope that's true. Anyway, we come along this way, and we pass through this very familiar U-shaped tunnel, which is again going to be a hint to say that if we ever find a boost ball-like item, we're probably going to use it. Go through here. some containers here. And we come to an impassable door. But there is a portal. So with a dark beam, let's go ahead and enter this portal. Over here, in the dark side of things, that door is no longer blocked, and instead we have some ink claws. There's a portal up there, which we're going to make use of it. We can see here that in fact there are no safe zones, and if we didn't have the dark suit, our survival here would be very dubious. We have one new scan here. Mechanism: corrupted sentry eye. Darkling possessed armed monitor system. Used by the ink to protect key areas. Can be stunned by most weapons. Charged light energy will destroy target. The sentry eyes were designed by the Luminoth to protect their camps on Dark Aether. The Ing learned how to possess them and churn them on their former masters. Many still remain throughout Dark Aether, now serving the Ing as they served the Luminoth before them. Most weapon types will stun the sentry eyes, only charged light energy will destroy them. Well, again, these are just basically ions from the previous game, so again we are going to ignore that. And here we come to our goal. Here are some blade pods, so let's harvest them for some light ammo and dark ammo, as well as some health. And we can enter them here. This is a bit of a puzzle. One of the things that you'll notice is that from the right side, we want to bomb these 3 bomb units, starting from furthest from the elevator back to the closest. It is actually a bit of a puzzle, you know. It's not so simple as 2 and 2, but rather 3 and 1. I like it. I think it's a good puzzle. And you'll see if from this one it closes on the far side there. So now, with this little lift thing in place, we can ride it. And it's nice that there's a safe zone here, so as we make our way across, we have some energy recharge. Deal with the night barbs that don't really pose much of a threat, so just blast them as you can and just collect the energy along the way, and we'll be up to full energy in no time, or at least as close to it as we need to be. So this is a kind of a nice puzzle that, you know, going into Dark Aether here, we can bypass those green blast shields and go back to Aether and the temple grounds here, and head over to Torvis Bog. Right. You can see that there's a pirate skiff that took over. Just trying to get these guys before. Oh, didn't get that guy before he turned, so we're gonna blast him with shouldn't use the charged ones. Oh, we're just gonna keep going. We're gonna encounter some pirates along the way, but that's okay. Just make sure that we blast the pirates as soon as we can. Another one, and another one as well. This one will expose again another one of those green blast shields. This one over here will allow us a path further along. Can we get some light ammo? Guess not. And one more. Just bring it to the middle. Avoid falling in the water. Not that it's going to be harmful, just more annoying. There we go. Some light ammo. That's good. And another gate that we can scan. Beyond this door, the path to Torvus Bog lies. A verdant land ravaged by a great deluge and the folly of battle. We honor the life that remains. Well, there's definitely a life that remains. And we get a nice view of Aether there. And a bunch of ore wasps that we're going to ignore. And finally, here we are. Elevator system online. Access to Torvus Bog granted. Step into the hologram to activate elevator. So again, another one of these elevators as we move from region to region. Oh, I gotta say, every time I watch the elevators descend like that, you know, just I don't know how Samus would do it. Alright, so as we're reaching a new region, first I want to deal with the shriek bats. Because like I said, they are annoying and you don't normally expect it. But there is this nice new scan. Research. Morphology Torvus Hanging Pod. Field cache for Luminoth military. Designed to hold crucial munitions and supplies for Luminoth warriors. Some may still contain useful items left over from the war. So it's really just a you know, again, another source of health and ammunition. But when we reach Torvus Lagoon, the music changes and we get this nice, very calm, serene music, very much like the Phendrana Drifts. We have some scans. Let's start with the creature here. Morphology, Shredder, exploding flying plant. Durable plant form seeks energy targets and flies towards them, exploding on contact. The Shredder spends most of its life in the earth. When agitated, it will spring from the ground, then begin to fly towards its foe. Should it reach its target, the Shredder will explode with considerable force, releasing a cloud of thorns as it does. Shredders are resilient, but can be eliminated with concentrated weapons fire. Can't help that the Shredders remind me of P-Hats from the original Legend of Zelda. Luminoth, Esdli's Testament. Let's find out what. They came to the lagoon in the night, delivering true death blows before I could detect them. As my life faded, I sent a call to the cadre to warn of this surprise attack. May they find my key and dispatch the Ing who killed me. Only then will my final rest be peaceful. This is the first I think we've heard mention of a key. So it seems like these Luminoth were searching for keys. Perhaps like the Dark Temple keys. Morphology, Torvus Barapod, living storage units of the Luminoth. Durable plant form grows around useful items, produces deadly cloud when destroyed. The Torvus Barapod grows around useful items. The hard outer shell can be shattered by weapon fire. The Luminoth use these hardy plants to store supplies for operations in the Torvus Bog. They are resistant to the harsh chemicals and diseases that run rampant in the swamp and emit a deadly cloud when destroyed. This has discouraged their consumption by local animals. Well, that's nice. It's nice to know that the bog here is considered a source of disease. I will say, I do not like the Shredders. They will explode after a while. Just try to shoot them to keep your distance. And unfortunately, we're going to be diving into the water. As upon we can see that the water is green and hazy. And we get these creatures. Morphology, Hidlings, aquatic miniature herd animal. Targets travel in large swarms. Contact with targets can cause minor damage. Hidlings are small water dwellers. They travel in packs for safety, roaming the water in search of bits of food. Their only defense is a bite, though their small teeth are sharp enough to pierce metal. That's neat. I will say, these guys are the epitome of ammo. If you ever are looking for ammunition, Just shoot those guys with perspective beams. Keep your distance if you can, and you'll get refill your missiles, beam ammo, and whatever other ammunition that you may have. Yeah, these guys are just terrific for that sort of thing. We'll roll in here. Thankfully, don't have to spend too much time in the water, but it certainly is a hindrance. At least we can double jump and come over here, and we have a new enemy. If we can scan them, they seem to disappear, but they will reappear. Yeah, there we go. Morphology: Shrieker, flying plant predator. Oh, these are plants. Bursts from Earth and takes flight. Fires sonic blasts. Generates stealth field that disrupts most visors. A cousin to the Shredder, the Shrieker waits for prey half buried in the earth. When it detects a target, it erupts from the ground and takes flight. It releases a sonic blast to stun its target, then sweeps in to feast. Shriekers can generate a stealth field that disrupts most visors, making them difficult to attack. Well, I think we do obtain a visor to track them, but basically, I don't spend a lot of time trying to fight these things. And most of the time I just try to ignore them. Yep, there's one more. There we go. Along with it, we have an interesting scan over here. Xenotech, Luminoth Sentinel Crystal, used to monitor key sites. Used by Luminoth soldiers to observe tactical areas during the war. Most are still broadcasting to Umos. During the war, the Luminoth used the Sentinel crystals to monitor key areas and installations. They are incredibly durable, resisting all but the most powerful of Ing attacks. Umos still uses the remaining Sentinel crystals to keep a watch for Ing activity, so that's partly how Umos knows what's going on in the Torvus Bog. Alright. So we will... no, we cannot enter there, but instead we will go through here. And it seems like we're kind of backtracking a little bit, going backwards. And there's a missile expansion, and hopefully we will eventually get it at quite a later point in time. But we are going to be scanning this. Bridge system online, raising to present position. Control override in effect. Bridge lockdown to occur once movement is complete. So we're back here in the lagoon, ignoring those shredders. Coming in here. And we have more shredders. You know, it just really might be advantageous to just let them come close and let them explode. And now we come to one of the rooms I really don't like to visit. We have the updated version to the baby Sheegoth. Oh, these things are really nasty. First off, we have Morphology, Grenchler, water-based reptilian predator. Well armored and deadly at any range. Its back shell is vulnerable to explosive blasts, however. The amphibious Grenchler lurks in marsh areas in search of prey. Fearless, it will spring from hiding and attack anything that moves. If it is unable to fell its prey with its powerful jaws, it will fire a potent burst of energy at them. Grenchlers have one weak spot. A genetic defect makes the shell on their back susceptible to explosive blasts. Remove the shell to expose a vulnerable nerve center, then target it to eliminate the creature. Well, I really don't like fighting these things. Morphology, bloat sac, gas-generated plant form. Target creates beneficial gases. Poisonous sap keeps it from being eaten by most creatures. The humble bloat sac contributes to its ecology by producing large amounts of benevolent gases. It thrives in damp environments, though it can survive in most climates and terrains. The bloat sac secretes a venomous sap over its body. Very few creatures can ingest the sap and survive, making it a useful defense mechanism for the plant. Yeah. So like I said, we are going to completely ignore the Grenchlers. They can jump, but not known to jump to new heights. And instead what we'd like to do is we would like to cross over there, but the bridge doesn't go that way. Instead it goes to this portal. So let's investigate what's in the portal. Because why not? Alright. So once in the portal we can see that there are some new scans. Let's see if we can scan this thing. Alright, morphology. Ing Sphere Cache. Living storage units of the Ing Horde. The Ing Sphere keeps useful items in a dimensional pocket. The pocket can be breached by destroying the Ing Sphere. The Ing Sphere keeps useful items in a dimensional pocket. Normally the Ing Sphere will only release the item to its Ing masters. The pocket can be breached and destroyed by the Ing Sphere. The pocket can be breached by destroying the Ing Sphere, however. This sometimes destroys the item, but can be worth the risk. Yeah, basically it's another item storage thing. And over here we have Xenotech, Dark Sentinel Crystal, a monitor system designed for use on Dark Aether. Used by Luminoth soldiers to monitor critical areas throughout Dark Aether. Few remain. Those that do broadcast data to UMAS of Aether. The original Sentinel crystals were durable, but they had their limits. The toxic nature of Dark Aether, coupled with constant attack from the Ing, destroyed many of them. The Luminoth responded with the Dark Sentinel crystal. Sheathed in dark energy, it is more resistant to the atmosphere of the Ing, homeworld, and the attacks of its denizens. See, that's interesting, but I still am amazed that there is this idea that you can transmit data interdimensionally. I mean, heck, sometimes I just get Wi-Fi dead zones, let alone interdimensional reliable communication. That's just... Anyway, we've now altered the bridge, so now it goes over there. Of course, we can't open that sort of door. So we'll just have to basically go back into Torvus Bog, the light version of it, and continue onward. And now we come to yet another enemy that is incredibly annoying. This is the Chozo Ghost version of an enemy in Metroid Prime 2. Hopefully we can, if we can scan one. Usually they make their presence known. Oh, there's one. Oh, that one's out of range too. Here we go. Morphology. Dark Pirate Commando. Darkling possessed elite space pirate. Increased combat ability due to symbiotic presence. Able to phase out of local time-space. The Ing prize the few pirate commandos they manage to take alive. Only Hunter Ing are allowed to possess the commandos, and the competition for that right is fierce among them. The Hunter Ing ability to phase out of local time-space carries over to the Dark Pirate Commando. They will fire bursts of dark matter at enemies, along with experimental EMP grenades stolen from the space pirates. Just like the Chozo Ghosts, our normal visor isn't sufficient to track them, and if you want to try and attack them and track them, we are going to have to get a different visor. But unlike the Chozo Ghost, they will, after a while, just phase out of the room and allow you to proceed. Sometimes they do lock the door, sometimes they don't. It all depends on what they do. Although I will say, once you gain the ability to track them, then you're forced to kind of defeat them, because the room will lock and it won't unlock until they're defeated. So then we had that morph ball bomb slot over there, phased out of existence, and we can proceed over here. And our efforts for altering the bridge is another missile expansion. So we are at 45 missiles. Excellent. And another missile expansion over there, but we can't get it. Instead, we have to contend with a new creature. Maybe it won't make its presence known. Don't worry, it'll come around. Oh, there it is. Oh, of course. Oh, these things are nasty. Morphology: Sporb, lurking carnivorous plant. Fires poison needles in battle. Can grip small objects in its jaws. The hanging sporb sits patiently until a potential meal is detected. A burst of poison needles is the sporb's primary means of attack. It can also extend its body over short distances, gripping small targets with its powerful jaws. We'll say, I like the design of this enemy, but boy, is it ever a frustrating one to deal with. But yeah, ultimately, I think it's a good design. I will say, I think it's kind of weird how pretty much all the wildlife in Torvus Bog is plant-based and trying to kill you. And again, just like the Shriek Bats, you have those Shredders that are trying to go suicidal on you. But, oh well. So once here... Oh. Power restored to Kinetic Orb Cannon. Unit locked in current firing position, auto-fire feature enabled. So the whole point is that we made it to this great bridge area. And as I said, we could have gone down here, but that really doesn't lead us very far. So we have to access this Kinetic Orb Cannon to fire to the top and proceed that way. Once again, watch out for the... oh, jeez. Watch out for those Shriek Bats. And as you make your way through here, you'll see these statues. But more importantly, you'll see the spot here. Structural analysis complete. Block is composed of telluric alloy. Erosion has weakened it considerably. Well, telluric alloy is susceptible to bombs. And if we bomb through, we get an energy tank. Unfortunately, we also means that we have to go back the way we came, but no matter. And after all, we've activated the Kinetic Orb Cannon, so all we have to do is go back in. More Shriek Bats. I think it's actually kind of unfair. Boy, did I not hit any Shriek Bats? Yeah, you know what? Just get most of them, that's good enough. Only this time we'll proceed forward. And we will be entering Torvus Temple proper. And as we can see, we're greeted by some of our friends, the Space Pirates. Thankfully, these pirates are not attacked by the Ing Horde. So we had some flying pirates and some normal space pirates, and we have yet more normal space pirates. So let's just deal with these guys to the best of our ability. So I'm just going to go around the room here. Whoa. Boy, these guys are really determined to be a nuisance. And once we defeat all the space pirates, we are greeted with a new item. It looks like a missile launcher, but is in fact the super missiles. So returning from Metroid Prime is the feature of the super missile. The idea that you do a charge and then you fire a missile while you're holding a charge. And you will fire a super missile. Super missiles cost 5 missiles instead of the ordinary 1. That's okay. Take this elevator to the top, and we can see that now with the super missiles we can fire missiles at those green blast shields and remove the shield. The nice thing about the blast shields is that once you remove the shield, it's removed forever, so I don't have to use a super missile to open that door again. Just a normal shot will be just fine. Alright, so here we have once again another dead warrior. Bioscan complete. Subject Luminoth has been dead for 1.2 decacycles. In addition to heavy combat damage, subject shows signs of numerous Ing possession attempts. All failed. Resisting these assaults would require incredible stamina and psychic durability. Boy, I'll say. Luminoth holo projector online. Automated message initiated. A great warrior comes to the Temple of Torvis. May you succeed where I failed. I am Avok, the last sentinel of this temple. Heed my words carefully. As you can see, this temple has been crippled by the ravages of war. While the main chamber has been mostly preserved, the remainder of the temple has been flooded. You must use your abilities to venture into these flooded areas and find the keys you need to enter the Dark Temple. The waters of Dark Aether are foul and venomous. Avoid them if you can. Well, I don't really have a choice. Excuse me. I have updated your translator module. You can access devices and doors coded with emerald holograms. Search the areas now open to you. The Ing will seek your light with great zeal. Do not underestimate them. They should not underestimate me. The time for talk is over. Good hunting, and may the light of Aether guide your aim. May it indeed. Yeah, so avoid the dark waters if you can. I don't really have a choice. The water of Dark Aether is extremely dangerous. Alright. The world warped. Amidst this turmoil, we discovered many disturbing anomalies. Spatial disturbances appeared across the land. Objects went into a state of dimensional flux, their atoms divided between Aether and somewhere else. There was little time to ponder these strange happenings, for we had to deal with the devastation of our lands. They're talking there about just after the meteor crashed into Aether. So that, yeah. So, at the time, the Luminoth didn't know what happened, didn't know that Dark Aether had appeared. I will say that if you had a meteor crash into the planet, then all of a sudden portals to some weird, otherworldly other dimensional place appeared, yeah, I'd be freaked out. We can scan this. Elevator system energized. The path below these hallowed grounds is yours to follow. Yeah, and we will take full advantage of that. So, under here, we have this path. Security clearance approved. Door systems online. Through vigilance and strength, we will create peace. Alright, I know we will. So, we will go through this path and enter the underground tunnel. Don't stray too far. You can hear it. But there is a missile expansion underneath the grating. Oh, Grenchlers. Like I said, Grenchlers, they are extremely difficult to fight, and the payoff is not nearly worth it. Ooh, that sounds like a sporb or something. I can't really hear it too well. New lore, Luminoth lore, the Ing attack. The day came when space was torn asunder, revealing dimensional rifts to a dark place. Horrible dark swarms streaked forth from these rifts, engulfing nearby creatures and transforming them into what we would come to call darklings. The dark creatures became our enemies, and peace came to an end on Aether. So basically the Ing attack, and the war has been waging ever since. Alright, and here we come across a new area, and already the music sounds ominous, and then we get those grates. These pirates differ significantly in appearance. So let's have a look at these guys. Morphology: Pirate Commando, Elite Space Pirate Shock Trooper. Well armed and armored, dangerous at any range, limited use shield repels most attacks. Dedicated to hunting the hunter, Space Pirate Commando units have been equipped with the latest weapons, including a variable pulse cannon, e-grenade launcher, and energy scythe. Powerful thrusters carry them at high speed over any terrain. Portable barrier shield repels most attacks, but can only be deployed for limited periods. So these are the pirates that the Ing prize more than anything else. And that's the shield right there. So phazon canisters are certainly useful, but barring that, actually recommend super missiles. Didn't really use it there, but that's okay. And over here we come to interdimensional portal. Well, let's go ahead. Enter Dark Aether. Now we are actually coming upon a mini boss fight. That's considered one of the hardest in the game. I'll certainly agree that sometimes it can feel challenging, but I've actually never had a lot of difficulty with it. But we will explore that in the next video.